But I'm really fired up about tonight. I want to get into some weeds with this, and I don't mean like in a negative way. This really is a marriage conference. Regardless of what's happened in the past, can we start from now on? Like start from here. And this, I'm not your counselor, okay? I'm going to give you some tips that I feel have helped us. My wife and I have been married for 23 years, and it's been the best 18 years of our life. How many know how to spell marriage? Ready? W-O-R-K. That's how you spell marriage. It's work. And oftentimes, marriage, you're going to grow so much over the next 24 hours. Marriage is so amazing, but sometimes it could be like a three-legged race. Anybody know what a three-legged race is? I'm going to open up with a video. I'm going to show you a three-legged race in a second. But my wife and I, we redid a song. I think it's going to bless you. Let's take a look at this.
Hey, everybody. We wrote a little song for all you married couples out there. It's a song about love. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I've never met someone like you. You're so different from me. God has brought us together. We live in harmony. But I love you. Oh, babe, I love you too. Listen. Every day with you is so special. We keep no record of wrongs. But let me just say one time to get this thought out of my mind. Why have a phone but not answer calls?
Okay, let me explain. I don't just sit and do nothing. I was cleaning our room.
Look pretty clean to me.
You left your socks on the floor. I got no sleep because you snore. So next time ask before you assume.
You know my CPAP machine's broken. It's funny that you bring all this up. Remember when you drank from my cup? You ate my burger and my fries. I swear I've asked you several times. Would have bought you your own if you just would have spoken up, said something. But I love you.
You know it was just a little bit. Every time I try to say something, you never hear what I say.
Sorry, what was that?
You're always watching the big game. It's driving me downright insane. Mama warned me not to marry you anyways.
It sounds like you're getting angry now. I've seen this more than once. We never should have sung this song. The calendar is never wrong. Maybe it's that time of the... I've never met someone like you. You're so different from me. God has brought us together. We live in harmony. And I love you.
That was so stupid. But it's just nice to laugh. Isn't it fun? We're going to have fun. You're already doing great. You're already doing better than you were. Congratulations, all right? We're going to learn today. And marriage is that. It is two people becoming one, and oftentimes it's like a three-legged race. And you've seen the three-legged race. Here's a video of this. That is marriage defined. Like, that's what it feels like sometimes. And let me just point out this definition of a three-legged race I wrote down. Let's put it up here on the screen. A three-legged race, it is a race where two people are joined together, trying to run together and find a rhythm, but most cannot and end up stumbling over each other. Okay, that's the definition of a three-legged race. Let me give you the definition of marriage. Okay, ready? It is a race where two people are joined together, trying to run together and find a rhythm, but most cannot, and they end up stumbling over each other. How many would agree? Like just this last week, we were driving, and Diana was like, "What's up with your driving? You're giving me whiplash." And I was like, "My driving is fine." But that's often how marriage is in life, because it's like if you're not careful, you're giving your spouse whiplash. Okay, listen, today I have one assignment I feel to give you. I just want to help you with communication. If I can do that, if I can add some value in this area, I will be the happiest man in the world, okay? It's just communication, because the phone lines are down. Let me say it another way. The cell phone towers are down. And people think they're communicating, but they're not communicating. And they're yelling or they're talking, but it's not communication. So I want to help you with this, because a lot of marriages are drifting into other lanes. What do you do when your car drifts into other lane? I did this today. I was driving and I started drifting into another lane. Somebody behind me honked. I wasn't even going to run into them. They just saw I was drifting. They honked. I was like, "Oh, thanks, buddy." What do you do when you're drifting into another lane? You realign. That's what this conference is, the Prosperous Conference. We've drifted. We all drift, all right? Nobody's pointing fingers at you. Let this be a little honk. Just a little, let's get over. Let's get back and realign. And you've heard it called tying the knot. Well, okay, you guys have already tied the knot, but knots get loosened. Every once in a while, you just have to tighten the knot. You tied the knot whenever you got married. Let's tighten the knot. And in my mind, there are three things that make or break a marriage, all right? Number one, you want to take some good notes on this. Number one is communication. Number two is intimacy or sex. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And all the guys are going to get here early. And then money. And here's the thing. In my opinion, communication is the number one. Because if communication is not healthy, and I don't mean just communication, healthy communication, then you don't want to be intimate with your partner, your spouse, because you push them away. Walls go up. And if money is funny, man, there's no problems like money problems. And by the way, this church has connect groups. There's small groups that gather. You all need to get in one to keep the marriage tight. All right? So I'm expecting 100% of you to get in a connect group by the time this conference is over. All right. Some of you are chasing a mirage instead of a marriage. You have this fantasy of what marriage ought to look like, and mirage is not a fancy way to say marriage. So you have to be sure what you're chasing. What are you trying to expect, or how do you define marriage? I have some good news and I have some bad news today. What do you want first, good news or bad news? Okay, I'm going to give you the good news. Here's the good news. You married somebody different than you. It's good news. It's really good, because you wouldn't want to marry somebody just like you. You'd kill you. That's the good news, though. They're different than you. You ready for the bad news? You married somebody different than you. This is hard. And so let's put this up here. Here's 4 things that we have to do because we married somebody different than us. We have to be willing to study, to learn, to adjust, and deliver. Study your spouse, learn your spouse, and then begin to adjust some things in your life, and then deliver what they need. Because before marriage, this is hilarious. Before marriage, opposites attract. And after marriage, opposites attack. Isn't that the truth? You married somebody so different than you, and there's this little word called compromise. Compromise is normally not a good word, but in marriage, it's an incredible word. It's us compromising a little bit, because we have to come back to where we study, we learn, we adjust, and deliver. And men and women are so different than each other. Can I hear a good amen? Diane and I are so different. Like, I grew up listening to rap and R&B. She's a classically trained opera singer. What do you want to watch? She wants to watch Downton Abbey. I want to watch Dumb and Dumber. You know, like we're just so different. Like we're so, I think in hell, here's what hell's going to be. It's going to be a Downton Abbey marathon. That's what hell's going to be. The punishment for, no, I'm kidding. But here's how different men and women are. Okay, I was thinking about a few things. When we say the phrase, I have nothing to wear. Here's what it means to a man. A man, it means I have nothing clean. To a woman, it means I have nothing new. Here's how we see color, okay? Here's how a man sees color. We see red, blue, green, orange, and yellow. That's all we see. Here's how a woman sees color. They see scarlet, dark red, wine red, plum, eggplant, grape, purple, lavender, carnation, strawberry, fuchsia, salmon, orange, melon, yellow, lemon, lime green, fresh grass green, green, dark green, moss green, yellow green, sea green, blue green, sky blue, green, turquoise. All y'all getting the picture? So different. Men and women are so different. Here's how different we are. When we say the phrase, honey, we have to leave by 6. For the man, here's how they respond. At 5:50, we put our shirt on and we're ready by 5:55. Here's how a woman responds to honey, we have to leave by 6. She takes a shower at 4:30. She then does her hair at 5 o'clock. She then does her makeup at 5:30. At 6 o'clock, she puts her outfit on. At 6:15, she puts a second outfit on. At 6:30, she puts a third outfit on. And by 6:45, she goes back to the first outfit. That's how different men and women are. Here's how we answer the question. Hey, how'd it go today? How'd it go? Guys, we respond like this. Good. But a woman, oh my gosh, God has wired them so amazing. They can verbatim recall every single solitary word like they're a court stenographer. You know what I'm talking about? Here's how we pick shampoo. Women pick shampoo like this, based on its effectiveness, brand, aroma, effect on the hair, the ingredients, the bottle's color, shape, and size, the quality, the design, from a friend's advice, from the hairstylist's advice, from Google search consumer reviews. Here's how men pick a shampoo. We come home and we say, I think it had the word shampoo on the label. My wife, she has 100 bottles in our bathroom. I don't even know what they all do. She's got face creams. She's got eyelash cream. She's got eyelid cream. We have oils and aromas and shampoo and conditioners and shower gel and toner and then like enhancer and stabilizer, all these creams. There's 100 bottles. Guys are so different. We want one bottle. We want that sucker to be a shampoo, a conditioner, a hair, like a body wash. We want that thing to take out a stain in the carpet. Come on, somebody. Different. We're just different. Now, let me say this. Before marriage and after marriage, it's very, very different. Like, guys, you used to have game. I don't know what happened, but you used to have game. Before marriage, it was all lovey-dovey. Hi, honey, baby. Like, it was real lovey-dovey. It was like, do you want a bite? Y'all remember when we used to offer bites? Before you got married. You don't do that anymore. Before marriage, it was like, hey, no, you want a bite? I don't want to eat your food. Take a bite. I want you to take it. You take a bite, and then I'll take a bite. And then you take a bite, and I'm going to take a bite. You take a bite, but I'm going to take a bite. But it ain't as sweet as you. And then you get married. It's like, seriously? I only have so many bites of a cheeseburger. I told you, these are mine. This is mine. The fries are mine. The fries in the bottom of the bag, those are mine too. The shake is mine. It's all mine. I asked you in the drive-thru, do you want something to eat? I didn't say this. You said no. That's called deception. You can't build a marriage on this. You bring it up 3 hours later on the freeway. Not a bite of my burger. Like, seriously? Remember how you would talk on the phone to her? I gotta get to work, babe. I gotta get to work. Then hang up then. Girl, you hang up first. You got your music playing in the background. I only think until I can. I stay and know. All right, here's what we're gonna do. On the count of 3, we both hang up. 1, 2, 3. You still there? Yeah, I'm still here. Now it's like, babe, I think I gotta go. Okay, bye. Like, so different. Before marriage, I would take Diana out to nice restaurants, and I'd look at her and I'd say, girl, get whatever you want. You want steak? A lobster? Get you some. It's on me. I got you. 2 years into the marriage, no joke. I'm like, seriously, $7 for a lemonade? Can you not just ask the waiter for a lemon? We got water and sugar on the table. Like, make your own. This is nonsense. What happened? Guys, you used to be Mr. Casanova. Now you're just Mr. Sit on the sofa. You've heard the statement before, change is inevitable, growth is optional. Write this down. By the way, this is important. Let's go to the next one. We change instead of grow. In our marriages, we change, but we don't grow. We all have changed. Changing is a part of life. But growing is optional. Growing is what we want to do in life. And can I also say this? Go to the next one. Let's put it up here. Applaud the effort, guys and ladies, not just the execution. Applaud the effort, not just the execution. I open the door for my wife most of the time, the car door. And ladies, have you ever had your man, they open the door for you and you're like, look at you. And then they mess up the execution and slam your right foot in before it actually gets in the car. Applaud the effort, not just the execution. If you know your spouse is trying, applaud that. Okay, just help a brother out. Right, go to this one, this next slide. Alignment requires allegiance. If we're going to realign, alliance requires allegiance. Pastor just talked about the difference between a commitment and a contract. And let me explain it this way. Our pastor, Pastor Chris Hodges, he tells a story about counseling a couple several years ago, and there had been some infidelity on the wife's part, and they were coming for counseling, and it just wasn't working. So the lady got up one day, she was like, okay, thank you, Pastor, this has been helpful, but it's not helping enough. We're gonna go ahead and get divorced. We've tried everything, thank you. So they leave, and about halfway outside the parking lot, she turns around, she's like, oh, I have to ask him another question. Comes back into the office and says, I have one more question, not related at all to what we had talked about. I have this brother, oh my goodness, I love him, but he is on drugs and alcohol. He's been in and out of prison. He's lived with us. He's robbed from us. And it's just so frustrating. Do you have anything to help him? And Pastor Chris said, yeah, well, we do. I mean, we have small groups and freedom groups, and we're going to help him with that. She said, thank you so much. And before she turned to walk away, he said this, can I ask you a question? I just think it's so interesting how your brother, you have let him live with you over and over. He's robbed from you. He's stolen from you. He's all this stuff, and there's so much grace for him, unlimited grace. And then for your husband, she said this. This is what she said. She said, oh, Pastor, that's easy. My brother's blood. And very quickly, Pastor Chris was able to recognize you define these relationships differently. You define your brother as I'm committed to you for life because we're blood. but your husband, your marriage is dispensable. Marriage is not a contract. It is a covenant before the Lord. And you are to love and respect each other. Our story, Diane and I, our story is one where it was really rough the first year. Our first year was hell. And it was very, very difficult. And if I could be a little transparent for a second, when the Bible says that two become one flesh, like we always think romantic, like two people running in slow motion. They're not even touching the floor. They're just hovering. You know, it's the Notebook. It's the rom-com. We think, oh, this is beautiful. It's really like two Mack trucks coming at 70 miles an hour and colliding, because you and your spouse are so different. You come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different personalities, different giftings. All of it is different. And you come together. So when I got married to my wife, she's spicy and a yeller. And I had a yeller in my family. And so she would always yell. And I remember one day I sat down, I said, babe, we're grown adults. We're not going to go through our marriage yelling, which made her yell even more. I said, I'm not going to be George Costanza's parents on Seinfeld. Like, I just don't have the energy. I have been in a yelling home all my life. I said, we're grown adults. If we have issue, we talk just like this. We're not going to be screaming at each other. Well, we eventually got past the screaming part and began to talk, but it was really rough because I wasn't treating her the way she needed and deserved to be treated. She would cry often, and I didn't understand it. And I was cold-hearted in a lot of ways. Not meaning to, but just I didn't know what it was like, or what it meant to be a husband. And we moved to Texas. We were going to help plant a church there with our pastor at the time. And I was working a sales job. And I'll never forget, I was working the sales job, and I heard this. I'm a learner. So one thing I had going for me, I'm teachable. So I was listening to a tape. Y'all remember what a tape is? Listen to a leadership tape. It wasn't even about marriage, but the Lord just had a way of working it out. And he said this, he said, as much energy as you put into every other relationship outside of your marriage, you ought to put more than that into your marriage. I mean, it hit me. I stopped. Because I had just the week before had the flu. It was hot and ridiculous. And I'm cold sweats, and I'm about to vomit. I'm literally in the parking lot of the place where I'm supposed to close the deal. I'm dry heaving in a bush. And I have a fever, I'm sweating, and I cinch my tie up. I walk in with a smile. Hey man, how you doing? Sean Nepstead here. And I close the deal. All of that for some stupid commission check that to this day, I have no idea what I spent that money on. I was able to put my feelings down and just prefer somebody else. And then I came home that same day and told Diana, what's for dinner? Who had been with 3 or 4 daughters all day long. Inconsiderate. God was working on me, but I hadn't worked it out yet. There was a guy named Zig Ziglar. He was also a Christian and a leadership guy before John Maxwell. And he was telling a story, and he tells a story about a tribe. Okay, where the tribe is in your mind is really irrelevant to the story, but here's how it takes place. In this one particular tribe, in this area, in the region of the world, you would have, if you wanted to marry a daughter of a father, you would bring a cow as payment or a dowry. That was standard. Now, if you brought 3 cows, oh, that's some woman. That's a 3-cow woman. Well, one dad had 2 daughters and had married off one daughter, but the second daughter, nobody was really giving her much attention. She just was very shy and overlooked in life and society in that village. And then one guy came from another village, and this guy brought 10 cows. That had never happened before. I mean, that's amazing. Takes her away, gets married, comes back after a year, and when she comes back, the entire village takes notice. Oh my goodness, she's so beautiful, she's so graceful. Oh, the way she carries herself, I can't imagine a more amazing woman. And the point was, women respond to how they're treated. You treat a woman like a 1-cow woman, she's going to respond like a 1-cow woman. You treat a woman like a 10-cow woman, she gonna respond like a 10-cow woman. Now, I know, ladies, you don't like the terms woman and cow in the same sentence, but I think you get the idea and the analogy of the story. I came home one day, and my wife, we had many arguments that first year, second year, third year, and it was rough. And I'll never forget, she was crying on the floor, just kind of at the edge of the bed. And she looked at me, and she said this phrase. She said, "There's no honor." It was, I don't know if it was the way she said it, because she had cried before, or maybe how the Lord was softening my heart, working on me, but something grabbed my attention, and I realized I need help. And from that moment, my uncle and some other voices I began to submit to, and begin to figure out, like, how can I love her the way she deserves to be loved? And God began to restore a marriage. I know some of you have come here tonight. Your marriage is doing great. Man, I'm grateful you're here. There's some of you, your marriage isn't doing great. There's probably a marriage here, I feel that you're on the verge of divorce. You just haven't told your spouse yet. Some of you have been dragged here. Some of you feel like this is your last resort. Like, if God doesn't show up, I'm done. God is a God of hope, and he's God of healing. Listen to me. Hope for tomorrow, healing from your yesterday. God can restore your marriage. He's either God or he's not, and he is God, and he can do what he said he could do. So whether you're here on your last resort, this will be a first step. You need to get in a connect group. Go get some Christian counseling. I was talking to a couple the other day, and I was like, you guys are going to divorce? Yeah. I said, have you gone to Christian counseling? No. I said, then you can't divorce. Like, I don't think God likes divorce at all, but I'm just saying, you can't say you've done everything. You can't throw this away. You can't, well, I tried everything. You haven't, if you haven't even been to Christian counseling. We're just trying to help you. Is this helping everybody? We're not perfect. My wife and I, we don't, sometimes you listen to people who at a marriage conference, you're like, man, they must have the perfect marriage. We don't. It's not perfect by any means. But we're just trying to share some lessons that have helped along the way. Right, put this down, this next one. This is important. You don't get a return on what you don't invest in. I said, you don't get a return on what you don't invest in. If you didn't invest in Amazon when it first came out, it grew, but you didn't. Your marriage only gives you a return when you invest in it. And fighting is not the problem. Write this down. Fight right. You're gonna fight, inevitably. But you gotta learn how to fight right. And don't fight to be right, fight to understand. Oh, this is good. Don't just fight to be right. Most of the time, we're not even asking, how can God help us? It's like, we think it's them against us. It's never you against your spouse. It's you, your spouse, God against the devil. There is only one enemy. John 10:10 says, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus says, I've come to give you life and life to the full. That includes your marriage. I played a lot of basketball growing up, and I was a point guard. And as a point guard, what would happen is I would bring the ball down the court, and I would bring the ball down the court, inevitably there would be a loose ball in every other game, it seemed like. And when this would happen, the ball would be loose. Everybody charges and slides all over the floor. We get the ball, and we're just throwing elbows and like punching people in the jaw and just trying to get the ball. Grunting. And I'll never forget this one time. Me and this other guy were just going after, just trying to. And somebody on the sidelines yelled out, "Same team!" You know, the same. We're on the same team and didn't even know. Some of you have been fighting your spouse as if it's you against them. Let me be the guy on the sideline today to just yell out, You're on the same team. Don't fight each other. Fight for resolution, not to be right. This is so incredible. It's so important. And in our marriage, it's like Diane and I have had some intense fellowship. But I remember this one time we were arguing and it was heated. She was crying and I was starting to cry. And I'm just you ever been so frustrated? I know you guys don't get frustrated like this, but I was so frustrated I wanted to cry. And you're not fighting for resolution, you're just fighting to be heard. Can I talk? Can I talk? Are you done? Are you done? You gonna keep talking? You're not listening. And I remember the Holy Spirit, he just dropped this in my spirit. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And I stopped and I looked at her and I said, babe, hold on, time out. Just hold on just a second. I said, what I'm about to say can sound sarcastic. It's not. I just need you to know I have not been trying to understand you. I've just been trying to get my point across. Can you forgive me for a second? But go back to the top. I'm not going to talk. I just want to hear. I'm going to try to hear your heart. You know what that did to the argument? And we were able to communicate. This is so important because, write this down, communication is not mutual talking, it's mutual understanding. Communication is not mutual talking, it's mutual understanding. It's fighting for that. And Stephen Covey has a book called The 7 Habits, and he says this phrase, seek to understand and then be understood. Seek to understand your spouse first, where they're coming from, and then be understood. Because the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1. We always think connect groups, small groups, but what about your spouse? 2 are better than 1 because when one falls, they have somebody there to help them up. What good is a spouse that doesn't help you up? Or when your spouse is down, you don't help them up. Let's start there. Write this down, put this up here. That same team does not require sameness. Same team does not require sameness. Unity it doesn't require unison. It doesn't always mean unison. Like your spouse might be a harmony. You know, it's not singing the same note. It's not exactly the same. You're different, but it adds value to that. And remember why you fell in love. What brought you, what made you be so taken with him or her? Because ladies, when you first met him, you were so in love. You called your friends. You were like, girl, I found him. He's just so chill. He's just chill. He's just so chill. I love him because he's so chill. I need that. I need that in my life. He's chill. And then you get married and you're like, girl, he ain't chill. This boy's lazy. That's what he is. Oh my gosh. Fellas, we did the same thing. Don't laugh too hard. We called our boys. We're like, oh, bro, she's the one. I know I said that about the last 3, but she is the one. This time, it's for real. She's so organized. Oh, I need that in my life. She's organized. This girl's organized. You get married, it's like, man, she ain't organized. This girl's a control freak is what she is. Can't do nothing. You're different. And a godly marriage is not 50-50. This is a world, this is why I say go to Christian counseling, because the Bible says in Psalm 1, don't sit under the counsel of the ungodly. It's very plain. It's not even vague on that. They can't even bring the God factor in. But the world will tell you, it's like, you look out for number one. Look out for number one. And the Bible's like, no, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. The greatest in the kingdom is the one who serves. And I would suggest to you, what I've heard before said like this, the greatest relationship happens between 2 servants. It's not, I'll do my 50 when you do your 50. Here's godly marriage math. You ready for this? 50 plus 50 is not 100. 50 plus 50 is 50. And last time I checked, 50% is an F on any test. A godly marriage is when you bring 100 and they bring 100, and even if they don't bring 100, you still bring 100. Like, take responsibility for your part. Write this down. Don't wait, initiate. Don't wait, initiate. Because most of us are just waiting. Well, if I'll start loving her when she respects me. I'll start respecting him when he starts loving me. And nobody's moving. Who moves first? I guess whoever's the most mature. If you want to play third grade, then keep on doing that. But stop waiting. Start initiating and do your part. I know it's not easy. I know it's frustrating. I know marriage is spelled work. I got that. But Romans 5:8 says that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Is there anybody grateful God didn't wait for us to do our part before he loved us, saved us, came to us, forgave us, restored us? All I'm suggesting is maybe, just maybe, God is asking you to love and respect them while they are still fill in the blank. Unconditionally. You guys are so amazing. You're growing already. You feel like you're growing at all already? Okay, just a little bit more. I want to deal with this book you need to get. It's called Love and Respect. I didn't write it, but it's a great book. And it's based on Ephesians 5, talking about the greatest need of the human heart for a husband and a wife. Here it is on the screen. Let's put the first verse up here. Submit to one another. If you grew up in a church was like, wives, submit to your husband. Well, what do you do with that? Let Scripture interpret Scripture. We submit to one another. Should have heard an amen from somebody. Who do you do this for? Not for them, for Christ. Go to the next verse. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Well, that's hard because Jesus died for the church. It's not based on how you think she deserves love. Jesus died for the church. And then the greatest need of the human heart for a wife is to be loved, honored, and cherished. And then it goes on. Watch this. Next part. However, each one of you must also love his wife as he loves himself also. And the wife must respect her husband. Wives, respect your husband. And then husbands, love your wives. Now, I know we all need love and respect. But I'm just telling you, a man can't sit in the same room as somebody if I feel disrespect from somebody else. Honey, we got to go. I can't be around. You see that dude? He don't respect me. Like, we need love and respect. It's like our air hose. This is out of the book, Love and Respect. It's like an air hose. If we are not receiving respect, it's like our air supply is cut off. Now, what do you do if your air supply is cut off from the air hose? You don't just, can't breathe. Let me just go ahead and die over here. No, you're like, get off my air hose. I can't breathe. Conflict. And when a wife is not receiving the love, honor, cherish that she needs, she's going to get off my air hose. Many times, the conflicts seem like they're about something else. They're not. They're just crying out to be loved. They're just crying out to be respected. We think I'll give love when she starts respecting me. I'll give respect when he starts loving me. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages. You also should get this. If you want to invest in your marriage. If you don't care, then don't get it. I'm just trying to help you because 5 love languages is this. We all feel love differently. Let's take a look. Here's how you feel love. You either feel love by words of affirmation. When somebody says something nice, you just love that. Makes you feel love. Acts of service, quality time, gifts, physical touch. How many of you, words of affirmation? Raise your hand. You just love when, yep, okay, pay attention. Acts of service, somebody does something, yep. My wife says I never look sexier than when I'm doing the dishes. So every once in a while, not too much, every once in a while, I'll be doing those dishes. Putting the plates in like, Quality time, people, you just need quality time. Gifts. People always are hesitant, like, if I do that, I'm going to seem greedy. It's okay. It's a gift. Physical touch. Yep. All right. Listen, the idea is this. Every one of us, we feel love differently, and the way I give, receive, and feel love might be different than the way you give, receive, and feel love. Had a couple one time I was talking to, and she was screaming at him, "He doesn't love me." His response, listen guys, his response, I put food on the table, don't I? I scooted back. It's about to get Jerry Springer in it. Yep. She was like, what'd you say? Hold on just 1 second. I was the mediator. I said, oh, hold on. Okay, I know that's how you're loving her, by provide. That's good. Keep doing that. But can you just see for a second she has a need that you don't have? Can you appreciate, can you study, learn, adjust, and deliver what she needs right now? That's great, but that's not how she feels love. And she had never told him how she feels love, because ladies, you just expect us to know. It's like a husband and wife, they get married, and the husband grows up in a home where the love language was words of affirmation, and the wife grows up in the home where the love language was gifts. And so for the first year, he is loving her the way he feels and gives and receives love. And he's, oh, you're the best wife in the world. I just love you unconditionally. There's nobody in the world like you. Well, she doesn't feel loved. And for the first year, she's like, I can't take this any longer. I don't feel loved. And at the end of the year, she speaks up. She's like, okay, enough with the words. Let's see some product rolling here. Say this with me. Not wrong. No, say, not wrong. Just different. Say it again. Not wrong. Just different. Put it up here again. Study, learn, adjust, deliver. Study, learn, adjust, deliver. Because otherwise you get on this crazy cycle. Show them this. Show them this. This is the crazy cycle. All right. Without love, she reacts without respect. And without respect, he reacts without love. And without love, she reacts without respect. And without respect, she reacts. Are you seeing the crazy cycle? Who goes first? Again, whoever's more mature. It's unconditional love. Because with the proper way to love, his love, she then reacts with her respect. And then with respect, he responds with love. And it's the good cycle. You go on a mission to try and outserve each other. Many of you are stuck in this. And it's like, I'm not moving until he moves. Or ladies are like, okay, how long do we have to try this unconditional respect thing? What part of unconditional do you not get? I tried the unconditional thing for 2 weeks and it didn't work. Remember the scripture in Ephesians? Do this out of reverence for Christ. Look. Your spouse is almost irrelevant in the equation. You're doing this as unto Christ. If you're having any trouble, picture Christ's head over their shoulders, saying, don't do that unto them. Do that unto me. You're loving her unto me. You're respecting him as unto me. Do this out of reverence for the one who has given us everything. We have a different set of needs. And it's not wrong, just different. But most of the time, we're just too lazy. We're lazy. And let me ask you a question. How many think your spouse is evil to their core? Anybody? No takers? Okay, listen. Listen, it's true. You don't think your spouse is evil to the core. It's not like you woke up one day and was like, I hate you, you hate me, let's get married. You love them. So if they're not evil to their core, then this is not an evil issue. This is a misunderstanding issue. It's a communication issue. You got to help them see it differently. Got another beach ball up here. This beach ball, if I hold it up and I tell you, what colors do you see? Yell it out. I see blue. It's the same object from a different perspective. Problem is, my perception is my reality. So you're screaming, I see yellow. No, it's yellow. I'm like, I see blue and white. I don't know what you're talking about. You're nuts. Communication is coming over to their side of things to see what they see and seek to understand. It's not going to always make sense right away, but this is why you signed up for marriage. You didn't just get married to have sex. I mean, if you're going to be married for 50 years, Sex is that's a small portion of time. 50 years is a long time, and you might spend a total, if you added all the sex that you're gonna have in 50 years, it might be like 4 days. You know, like there's a whole lot more to this than sex. Are y'all still with me? Can I give you a couple of things more? We have a different set of needs. You have to understand this. Your kids have a different set of needs. And you don't look at your kids like, what do you want to do that for? They just have a different set of needs. What you need, 4 diapers a day, gosh. In that season, they have a set of needs, and you understand, and you study, learn, adjust, and deliver what they need because you love them. And we have different needs, okay? A lot of women need FaceTime. Write this down, men. FaceTime. FaceTime is when you are talking to them with your face. I've had my 4 daughters, my wife, and my mom all tell me at certain points in my life, look at me. And I'm like, I'm typing over here, and they're over here. Look at me. I hear you. No, look at me. You're not paying attention. I am paying attention. And my daughter's, Daddy, look at me. Okay, ladies, get ready to say amen. Guys, listen to me. You need to listen with your eyes. Like stop and look at them. Give them attention. And then listen, you get extra credit, guys, if you can repeat back what they say. Now, not every guy can do this. But there is a select few, the elite, who are not able just to listen with their eyes, but they can repeat back what their wife said. It goes well with those brothers. Dinah would want FaceTime, though, as soon as I walk in the door. Because I'd be talking with people all day long, and then she come home with the girls, our daughters, all day long, and she's just wanting some adult conversation, and she starts, I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Babe, I've been talking all day. Can I just chill for a second? And ladies, can I just give you a little hint? Give them some grace and let them get ready. As soon as they walk in the door, if your husband's like, can I just get something to eat first? Don't be like, oh, forget it then. Let them get ready. Ladies, just like when like he wants to be intimate and you're like, hold on, let me get ready. Shower, comb your hair, put on lotion, brush your teeth, and like 45 minutes later, you're coming into the bedroom like, okay. Ain't no man ever said, let me brush my teeth first. Not in the history of mankind. Adam, going back to Adam, ain't no brother ever said, let me brush my teeth first. Okay, listen, ladies, listen, I'm trying to help you out. Wives, just like you need time to get ready and prepare, let your husband take time to get ready and prepare. There's an emotional connection that takes place, and it's emotional effort. Learn to give your spouse clues. It's okay for me to walk in and Dinah starts, she wants FaceTime, and I say, babe, just give me a little bit of time. Let me get ready. Hold on, let me get my mind right. And then, girl, I'm going to give you undistracted me. Like, I'm going to come sit on that couch, and I'm going to give you me. Husbands, give it to her. And I don't mean like I'm talking about give her undivided attention. Husbands, let me help you out. Wives, listen. Husbands, just like you don't want your wives to be uninterested, unmotivated, and uninvolved during sex, your wife does not want you uninterested, unmotivated, and uninvolved during emotional connection. There's an emotional release that most women have a need of through communication. It requires FaceTime. Just look at husbands, look at your wives right now. Tell her this. I'm going to give it to you tonight. Oh, I'm going to give it to you tonight. I'm talking about undivided attention, FaceTime. You wait till we get, I'm going to listen to you so hard. I'm going to listen your brains out, girl. Can't wait. Undivided attention, FaceTime. You go to most coffee shops and there's like all these little tables around and there's 14 ladies at the round table all facing each other, all talking at the same time. And they can hear each other. They have that ability. Okay, ladies, men are different than women. We don't need FaceTime as much. And again, these are generalities. Some husbands or wives need FaceTime and shoulder time. I get this, but a lot of men, we need shoulder time. We need shoulder time. So just for a sake of example, bro, right here, could you just jump up stage? You can come up here. What's your name? Isaac. Give Isaac a hand, everybody. All right, Isaac. We need FaceTime. I mean, our wives need FaceTime. We need shoulder time. Even how we're standing right now, it's not like this. It's more, dude, you watch them in the lobby. Most guys are like, hey, man, how's it going? We talk shoulder to shoulder. We like to chill. We like to watch a game. We like to go on a drive. We like to, whatever. It's usually shoulder to shoulder. It's not going to be a whole lot of this, when me and Isaac get together, like, Isaac, tell me what you did today. What? Oh, my gosh. It's awkward for dudes. Okay? So, ladies, you have a need most of us don't have. And it's okay. It's not wrong. It's just different. Here's what we need from you. Sometimes we just need you to sit by us and not say a word. Watch the game with us. Watch us play a stupid video game. Go on a drive with. Come watch your husband work on the house or a car and don't say nothing. He will be like, it charges us up. I don't know how to explain it, but we need shoulder time. Just drive in the golf cart and just drive. You don't have to golf, just drive. And even if your husband can't hit, just say, babe, that was good. She don't know. She don't watch the pros. She don't know how far the ball is supposed to go or how many strokes it's supposed to be. Babe, you got that in 10? That was so good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Like, are you seeing the difference? Different needs, not wrong, just. So whatever they need, study, learn, adjust, and grow. And don't be incognito with this. Give some clues, for crying out loud. This is a back scratcher. Most of us don't carry this around. Have you ever had your spouse, you're like, babe, scratch my back, scratch my back. Look. They never get the right spot right away. And you are mature enough to give them some clues. Up, oh, left, right there. If you know how to give clues as something as elementary as an itch on your back, then you can give some stinking clues to your spouse about what you need specifically. Stop expecting them to just know. Well, if you don't know, I ain't gonna tell you. Clues are given to people when you want them to win. You only give clues when you want them to win. So when Diana, here's a clue. I would walk in, she'd say, babe, let's talk. I don't want to talk. I need FaceTime though. My antennas go, oh, there's a need there that she needs. I don't have it, she has it. It's okay. Okay, give me 10 minutes. I'm gonna go in here, I'll be back. Babe, I want to hang out. I'm tired. I need some shoulder time. Give some clues. Is this helping? Because here's what conflict is. Look at this. Conflict is, it's a disagreement or clash between ideas, principles, or people, and the root is unmet expectations. When you have an expectation that's unmet, then conflict happens. And when she clues me in, I can now meet those expectations effectively, but I couldn't before because I didn't even know she had them. By the way, the phrase pay attention, you know why they call it pay attention? Because brothers, it's going to cost you something. A little time, a little effort, might even cost you the game. But she's worth it. Give clues. And don't use phrases like you always or you never. It's not true. Sometimes we argue in hyperbole. We argue with exaggerated examples. You always do this. He doesn't always do that. It's sometimes. It's been a handful. It's not you never listen, you never. And don't attack their character, by the way, guys and ladies. Don't attack their character. You don't motivate somebody by attacking their character. I've never had somebody attack my character and then be like, you know what? I love you. I want to serve you. You say this, hey, what you said came across unloving. I know that's not your heart, but that's how it made me feel. Hey, what you said came across disrespectful. I know that's not your heart, but man, it just really came across that way. Isn't that a whole lot more palatable than yelling and just getting to that area? And ladies, don't get mad at your husbands for their sex drive. It's not wrong. It's just different. And for you to be like, all you ever want to do is talk about sex, 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 sex. That would be like your husband saying, all you ever want to do is talk, 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 talk. Different set of needs, not wrong, just different. Because otherwise you're like that three-legged race in the beginning. You can't find a rhythm. If you want a rhythm, communicate. Step, 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 step. And don't disengage. And listen to me, don't cut off, don't storm off, don't tell them off, don't hang up on, don't treat them worse than you would treat your boss or a colleague at work. They're your spouse. Give effort to this. A couple more and I'm done. Honor the date night and keep it holy. Every week. Every week. It doesn't have to be expensive. Doesn't have to be crazy. Just time. If it's sharing a cup of tea and a coffee together, it's what time are we going to do that every week? Do it every week. And then take control of the culture of your home. You know what culture is? It's anything you create or allow. There's not one thing in your home you're not responsible for because you either created it or you allowed it. What are you creating and what are you allowing in your home? Let's realign this. Okay. I keep saying I'm almost done. You know, preachers, they lie when they do that. Okay, a couple more slides. I got to get this to you because we're working hard. Y'all working hard? Is this helping? Say yes. Go to the next. Do we have another slide? Okay. This is from a book called Peacemaker by Ken Sande, S-A-N-D-E. And this is 3 different types of people. There are peace-faking people, peace-making people, and peace-breaking people. Peace-faking people, this is what they do. There's a flight. I'm out of here. They avoid it. Peacemakers work it out. Peace breakers choose to fight, but not for resolution. Which one are you? When there's a conflict, because that comes up with unmet expectations, which one are you? And which one's your spouse? Okay, my wife is this. She's peacemaking. I thought I was peacemaking, but I was peace faking. Because I was very avoidant on some stuff. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. And by the way, on your date night, don't talk about hard stuff. That's your date night. Last week, my wife and I, she was out, and she brought up something that was heavy and work-related. I was like, babe, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm just enjoying your company. I just want to, and she got it, but we were quiet for about 10 minutes, just eating all quiet, just. And then on the way back to the car, she grabbed my hand. I grabbed her hand. Just no, I'm still with you. Y'all with me? Because conflict is this last, it's not the last slide. Who am I kidding? I'm just joking. Disagreement, go to the next one. Disagreement is unmet expectations. Here's what I've been trying to get at the whole time. Just make Jesus the center. Make Jesus the center of your marriage. And then go to the last slide. This is where a lot of us are in the 3-legged race. Some of you have fallen and you're frustrated. Others of you have been running, but you need to realign and find a rhythm. Just identify with your spouse which one that is.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our service at Freedom House OC. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's always my honor, my wife's honor to bring you God's word. And I know that God's best is in your future. Make sure to share, click the bell icon so you're always up to date when new content comes out, because we want to be a blessing to your life. We want this channel to be a channel that feeds your future and leads you closer to God. Hey, we love you. God bless.